Countdown.
This is fun. Okay.
Here we are.
Here we are again with Beth Lynch, and we're in the third of your series of
Yes.
energy medicine and hormones, specifically perimenopause and menopause. And today's topic is what, Beth?
We're going to talk about fatigue, stress, and adrenals. They
Uh-huh.
kind of all go together.
Fatigue, stress, and adrenals. And as we've talked about this, the adrenals are sort of the what would you call it? The master gland, or like it's a big part of it, right?
It's a big part of it, right? And right, only because like our stress response has so much of an overtake of our body, right? When
Right.
when we have that stress response, it's like the alarm bells in our body are going off, and so a lot of things go offline, including our hormones.
Right.
So
But
the adrenal
go ahead.
Well, the adrenals are in charge of initiating the response to the stimulus of stress,
Hmm.
right? And so the adrenals are pumping out their little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, right? Right, and they pump out hormones that help your stress, things like cortisol, adrenaline, those types of things. They help respond to the stress you're perceiving, right, through your in your environment or in your emotions, and then your adrenals are responding to that by pumping out cortisol, let's say.
So, and cortisol's bad,
Well,
but then, but so, well, it can be. We'll get to that. But it's what shifts in your adrenals is what?
right. So in perimenopause and when you get actually through the whole menopause journey, your ovaries are no longer producing the estrogen and progesterone, and that shifts over to where? Your adrenal glands. So your adrenals have the ability to still produce those hormones that your ovaries are no longer producing. The
Okay.
issue is when we're stressed chronically or continually, that stress response becomes sort of disordered, or it's not working correctly. And so it's throwing off the adrenals, and that in itself, plus the adrenals can't produce cortisol and your sex hormones at the same time. So it can't produce cortisol and estrogen, progesterone at the same time. So if you're stressed a lot, your adrenals are producing the cortisol and they're not able to produce those other hormones that you would need now that your ovaries are no longer producing them.
Okay. So when do we know? I mean, I guess we kind of think can know, but when do we know when it sort of makes that switch to like the adrenals taking over?
Yeah, I think it's hard. Like, I mean, it's that journey of menopause where things are spiking and they're low and then they're up again, right? And it's like when you've been officially, I think, through menopause, like the year without the period, and you've had a lot of those that shift has then actually happened, then
Hmm.
it's more primarily in the adrenals than in the ovaries, the production of the sex hormones. But
Okay.
you can set yourself up to feel better through the process. And when you actually have gone, when you're actually through menopause and on the other side of no more periods, you can set yourself up by helping your adrenal health be in really good shape so that you feel better through the process and afterwards.
Okay.
Because adrenal
And go ahead.
Well, the adrenals themselves, they govern circadian rhythms. They have to do with our blood pressure. They have to do with, I know, with our stress response. So they that so therefore, like, they're a big part of our sleep disturbances. They're the big part of increased fatigue. They're a big part of our sugar cravings. They're a big part of our brain fog. The adrenals.
So if you can, I guess, minimize the cortisol, spikes, then you have a better chance of sort of baselining the other hormones. You won't have as many of the symptoms. Is that right?
Right. It's like it helps you balance everything else when your adrenals and that cortisol production is balanced, because it gets imbalanced by too much or too little in there. It's like the response, there's no more homeostasis that happens when that whole process has been interrupted by like continual chronic stress.
Right. Okay.
So when you
So,
can go
and
ahead.
cortisol is an interesting topic though, because cortisol serves a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
but some of us are just swimming in it.
Right.
So what?
Exactly. It's
So
not bad.
what?
It's right.
Okay,
It's
so
part
tell me more. So when I think of cortisol, I think bad because
right.
it's like puffy face, like all, all the things. So what is the purpose of the cortisol? Let's go there first.
Right. Well, it's like it's you want your it's not bad or good, right? It just is with a lot of things, which I love to kind of like neutralize things because we always are kind of vilifying. It's when we feel imbalanced with it, right? Like the cortisol helps us get up in the morning, right? It's supposed to be high at night and then decreasing throughout the day, and then our melatonin starts to go up at night so we can go to sleep. But sometimes those get switched, right, with the chronic inflammation or stress in our lives. So it's helpful in the rhythms of our body, and we
Mm-hmm.
need it. But it's just when that whole system gets imbalanced and off kilter that we feel it, and that's when it feels like, okay, this is bad because this doesn't feel right.
Okay. So then the energy exercises we're going to talk about today are going to help with the cortisol or the stress
Yeah,
or both.
both, because in energy terms, the cortisol, that whole stress response system, the adrenal cortisol stress response system, is governed by an energy, and that energy happens to be named triple warmer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is it's a very strong, powerful, protective energy. So it's really helping us to um, stay safe, stay alive, and stay okay. And that's
Okay.
what our stress response is really built for, right? To
Mm-hmm.
like keep us alive on Earth. And it's when that we use that same stress response for I'm going to be late to this meeting, or I forgot that that form, or whatever. We have that cortisol injection. So to use that energetic of triple warmer to help balance that energy will then help balance the adrenals and that cortisol response, so that your body can come back to its own internal balance easier. You still might have those little like woo, the jolts of the stress in your life. Stress is always going to be there. It's more of
Right.
how our bodies are responding to it and able to adapt. It's all about how do we adapt. Seriously.
And not keeping that spike for staying in that, like just staying in the fight or flight, staying in that mode. It's yes, it's happened and being able to get back down to like, right, the baseline.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Once again,
Okay.
that like resiliency, that, and I get like sometimes things are really high level, right? Especially this time of life where women are caring for children, they're caring for elders, they're working, they're doing so many things in this sort of crunch time of perimenopause that the stress can feel like through the roof.
Right.
I
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Okay. So rub your hands together. I always like to clean our tools. And
cleaning our tools,
then
okay?
clean our tools in our hands and shake them off. And that's just to kind of clear your hands. And we're going to
Mm-hmm.
do a really easy one to just, it helps to take some of the charge out of that triple warmer meridian that holds our stress. Okay. So after you rub your hands together, shake them off, and then you put your hands over your eyes and take a deep breath here. Relax your shoulders. Let your breath out. Inhale again, drag your fingers to your temples. Breathe in again. And you don't have to press hard, you're just going to gently putting them there. Out. Good. Right. And then you're going to move your fingers up and around your ears. You're going to smooth behind your ears. Come all the way down through your neck. You're going to come up and around, good, through your neck. And hang on here. Just grab onto that shoulder for a minute. Breathe again. And then come down to your heart. So we'll do that one more time. Okay. And you can do whatever speed you want. If I'm just going to kind of go through eyes, temples, go around the ears, down the neck, shoulders, and heart. Okay. I don't know if you ever noticed, but sometimes when people get nervous, they go like this.
Mm.
You're actually smoothing. It's an instinctive move. You're smoothing. We're moving backwards on the triple worm meridian to help release some of that energy, that stress energy that's held there.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is
So that's
calming the triple warmer.
it's
Okay.
calming the triple warmer, which kind of helps calm that whole stress response system. So now I'd like to show you some points that are directly related to the adrenals
Okay.
glands.
Uh-huh.
So if you go on your belly, go to your belly button, two middle fingers, and go out about an inch and up about an inch. Approximate. Don't worry. Don't worry too much. And then you're just going to massage deeply, rub in there. These are
Kind of
your,
feel my ribs. Am I feeling my ribs
it should
a
be
little bit?
below your ribs.
Oh,
Below your
below my
ribs.
rib. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it might be just below, depending on how your makeup. But belly button out an inch and up an inch. So, and you're massaging here, just allowing some of that release of that adrenal, um, pent up adrenal energy or imbalance in cortisol. You can think of it that way. You're giving them a little bit of a break when you give them a massage. Because basically, anytime you're contacting a point that is connected to a meridian or to a gland, you're doing the energy of that, and it may be congested, constricted energy in that area. And as you massage it, it starts to diffuse out. All right.
Okay.
So, massaging those, I would do that several times a day and see how that feels. The other one is holding those points. Just put a hand there. You can do 2 points like this, or you can just put a hand, and then one other hand at the top of or place it over your forehead, and breathe here. And this is a very light touch on the forehead. These are main neurovascular calming points. And my dog just took a deep sigh as I did this.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
know. So this is a wonderful way to help balance your adrenal energy and help to bring some of homeostasis back to your adrenal glands, to your cortisol production, and to the overall stress feeling in your body.
And how many times should we do this a day?
Right. As my one mentor used to say, 2 to 1,000 times a day. You can do this smooth behind the ears thing anytime, as often as you like. Rubbing the adrenal points, you're gonna like. I don't know if anybody got some heat from that. I got a little bit of heat from rubbing those points. And then so just want to kind of see how you feel with that. If
Mm-hmm.
it feels like, oh, that's been plenty, then just leave it alone. This you can do as long or as often as you like. This is
Okay.
balancing no matter what.
Just putting your hand in the two spots.
Yep. Yep. And you can even fall asleep like this. Very calming. Yes, it might help you. Yes.
That's sleep might be the next topic. So, all right.
Exactly.
This is really good. This is key stuff that I didn't even know about the adrenals and how things shift. And I'm sure this will be a bigger topic, but these are all things to keep in mind. So thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
And we will sign off for tonight and we'll be back again next week. Okay.
Good. See you. Bye.
Thanks. Did